I'll try to keep in mind. But I'll mostly look at the beautiful
Okay.
ladies. All right. Go snap.
Yeah. Get it. Hi. Welcome to another episode of Between Two Chains. I'm your host, LDF. My guest today is Reka from RISC Zero. Welcome, Reka_ETH.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Zero knowledge. Sounds kind of bad. Like, why would I want zero knowledge? Wouldn't one knowledge be better? Or like infinite knowledge? Convince me that knowing nothing is somehow good.
I've always been on the notion, a believer of the notion that head empty is the state where we should be existing more. And so zero knowledge just makes sense to me. I don't know why it doesn't make sense to you, but I'm happy to expand more if you'd like.
What is that supposed to mean?
I think she's saying your head is too full.
I think she means that I should know that being dumber is better.
I didn't say dumb. It's just head empty.
So my head should be emptier.
Yes.
All right. You once said zero knowledge is like berry picking. In your words, when we say verifiable compute, we're turning blockchain's hardest problem into something you could explain at a picnic. But I guess my question is, what does that mean? Because I'm still very confused.
Well, a very important component of verifiable computing and ZK is verifiable compute. And so if you're head empty enough and you're zero knowledge aligned enough, you kind of hear verifiable compute every single time.
I do hear that.
Exactly. So I don't know if I need to expand more or this is enough, but
I'm going to say that at my next picnic.
verifiable compute?
Yeah.
They'll love it. Who's the picnic with?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, fair enough.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, celebrities and scammy meme coins, Blantourage and tweeting about little treats in 2024. These are all iconic duos. Why is ZK and Interop the iconic duo?
We have over, hey Toby, we have over 350 chains.
That's a lot of chains.
That's a lot of chains. And I do terribly believe that the future is not going to be as fragmented as it is. So interoperability and zero knowledge just make sense. They go hand in hand to the market to exchange their verifiable computes at the market, like you would berries that you picked at the picnic. And to get a little more technical.
Don't get technical.
Okay.
We'll save that. So all I'm hearing is berries on all the chains.
Yes. Berries are chain agnostic.
Wow.
Verifiable compute can be anywhere
Wow.
you want it to be.
How sweet.
It's super sweet.
All right. Crypto Twitter loves doom. It's every day. XBT this, hack that, fraud over there, lots of crime. But let's assume the best. Let's say interop is completely solved. Chains are connected. Assets are moving. Bridges don't cost your life savings. What's next? Do we finally get to do something fun?
I sure hope so. I think what's next? I've been thinking about this actually. And I truly believe berries lead us in that direction too, is we're reaching abundance. And not just computational abundance because of the berries and verifiable compute.
Of which there are many.
Of which there is abundance of that verifiable compute that leads us to more abundance in computation. But I truly believe that crypto is in a system that helps us coordinate peer-to-peer. That's why I came into this industry, and I feel like we're getting closer to that. And I feel like that is the point where we have Doom for fun, but the majority of the time...
Doom is fun.
It's something. It's entertaining. It makes for good entertainment sometimes. But I do believe that abundance is coming, and crypto is a part of it. And it will help us with human flourishing, and so people don't need to work as much, or work is fully redefined, and the monetary system is redefined, and how we coordinate as people is redefined. And I think crypto is a huge part of that. So once interop is solved now, and verifiable compute brings ZK to every chain, we're close.
Wow.
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 I have to say, I'm very confused at the moment. Doom is good. Head should be empty. I'm not actually quite sure if my head is too empty or too full for this conversation. But Reka, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for entertaining our little bit. This was super fun. This is Between Two Chains, as LDF said, and this is a collaboration between Rehash and LayerZero. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
I want to start off by asking a question that we've been asking every single guest, which is, what does interoperability mean to you?
It's a hot word, but it means a lot of things to a lot of different people.
It really does.
I think it's this esoteric concept that currently we have a little bit of divergence in assets and functions and executions between the chains and how they work. And I think interoperability means that I don't need to change manually in my wallet what chain I'm interacting with just because I want to use an asset somewhere on an app. It happens behind the scenes. So it includes messaging, it includes sharing information, it includes execution, it includes bridging, transferring of assets behind the scenes. And I think it's a collaboration of those and a merger of those terms.
So handle those things so my brain can be empty.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
So I actually had you on Rehash recently. We talked all about ZK. You're the queen of ZK. And you said something, which is that ZK solves three main things, which is scaling, interoperability, and privacy. So I'm curious to hear you explain more about ZK's approach to interoperability, and feel free to bring in the berry analogies as you do so well.
Oh, let's go. Thank you for enabling me. ZK as a concept as it is, except from the layer ones and the rollups that are creating moats of their own in different ways. But ZK as a technical thing, it's chain agnostic. So very interoperability aligned. And what it generally means is we do a lot of the functions and execution that would happen on chain. It costs billions in gas to do and limits how complicated we can make things. Actually, it requires us to keep things super simple, and that makes for a lot of band-aid solutions, and it kind of sucks. That all of that goes off chain, and we just put the proof of that it happened back on chain. So it's a much smaller thing. So imagine how much faster we can go. Computers don't need to re-execute a lot of the things. We do that off chain, and we just have the little tiny proofs back on chain because the block isn't that big. Mm-hmm. We can increase TPS and the speed, but the blocks are not that big. They're not storage spaces. So
the chains aren't databases?
The chains aren't databases.
Wow.
I know.
That's a hot take.
I know. Smart people have told me that, so I believe that and embody it.
It's okay. We all learn things, you know?
Yes.
We get smarter every day. Yeah. So how does this fit in with existing solutions? Because sometimes I know it happens in interop, and sometimes like the infrastructure projects all kind of start to sound like they're magical solutions to every single problem. But like, where does ZK play nicely with other tools, or like just where does it not focus? Like what is ZK good for, and what is it not the catch-all solution for?
I'm so very ZK aligned that it's hard to say it's good for everything, because eventually we'll touch everything in a little bit.
What's it good for right now?
Scaling. Massive scaling to the levels that we couldn't see and believe and imagine and do of what we could do with the apps that we have, the rollups that we have, what kind of capacity they provide. It scales that so much. There's this beautiful analogy that I keep forgetting, but it's my favorite thing. So that's kind of funny that I don't remember it. But my
it's
team,
so good you can't remember.
I know, but it's something to do with the computer that took us to the moon, if you believe in that. That was funny. Sorry. So the computer that took us to the moon is way, way, way less capable than the iPhone in my pocket, but it was bigger in size. Anyway, so, and 100x would be an understatement of how much more capabilities we're making. Why can't my iPhone do even more things for me? And it's partially because of the computational limitations.
So compression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially how we do that scaling and how it fits into the whole world is we make things smaller, more efficient by putting them elsewhere, like sending them to a different room to discuss what, let's say we have a meeting to make important decisions right now. And there's people that like need to rediscuss again what democracy is and what decisions flows are and all these like super unrelated things, but are necessary to make that decision. But we send them into a different room so they debate that out and send us back the proof that they know how to make a decision. So we're like, oh, bad. So then we just make the decision. That's an analogy I came up with immediately right now, but I feel like it explains. It's not the favorite analogy of my team.
You heard it. This is breaking news right now.
Breaking news.
I love that because a lot of times when we talk about scaling, it seems like the solution is more block space or faster block space.
It's not the way.
Especially,
turn back.
Turn back. We took a wrong turn somewhere on VC dollars, and we need to course correct. But as you mentioned, like especially as we need more complex computation to do more interesting things on chain than simply move value around, it makes more sense to compress that knowledge as opposed to taking up as much space as possible because we need to sell block space.
Yep.
What verticals do you feel like are taking the most advantage of this, or like where is ZK needed the most right now as opposed to it being kind of like a theoretical solution?
Roll-ups. They're doing so many different things, but what they don't, not all of them do well, and they will need tremendous amounts of, is scaling that execution. Because hopefully, if we believe app chain thesis, if we believe there will be even more chains than 350.
More chains?
More chains.
Did I hear more chains?
Yeah. Then we'll need even more of that capacity and more functionality, and that will be done through us changing how we think about scaling chains and execution, and that's going to be through ZK. It's inevitable.
And RISC Zero just had a product announcement fairly recently. Can you tell us about Boundless and the role that it plays in this verifiable future?
Yes. So for those of you that don't know, RISC Zero has built the first general purpose ZKVM that is essentially the standard since 2021 and growing. And it makes ZK really fast and really cheap, and it just keeps improving it. And it's a wonderful team. But we're also building Boundless as a protocol out of that. And Boundless is using the RISC Zero ZKVM and also partners with other ZKVM providers, plus other prover networks and other companies that are part of the ZK stack to build this vertical of a protocol that brings, it's a universal protocol that brings ZK to every chain. It's essentially, you don't need to use all these complex languages and everything to implement ZK. You can use Rust and Solidity through it. It makes execution over 99.9% cheaper, which is massive.
Wow.
It inherits the security of the layer ones that of your choice. It's completely chain agnostic. It really has the opinion that you can stay where you are. We'll bring ZK to you. You just need to spend a couple hours implementing it and then putting all your execution on that while using the security of the layer ones or the chains that you actually want to have, where you want your proofs to live at the end. And to give a little bit of berry part of this is that
need a little berry.
Yeah, boundless berries. It's a thing because verifiable compute, a core part of Boundless and this whole stack of ZK that is helping us scale is a marketplace. And isn't that a best analogy that verifiable compute has a berry market where you take your berries and you transport your well-made little berries that came together, you take them to the market, and then you sell it to the highest bidder that takes it home and makes something else with it that's more beautiful, maybe jam or like a smoothie that makes for even better use cases because it's not just a berry, it's something else with other things. Beautiful.
I love that. So ZK's primary thing, what I'm hearing is that it's self-scaling, and by solving scaling, that's a really important problem in solving interoperability, because if you're trying to make all these chains interoperable and we're getting more and more chains every day, which do we need more chains?
I don't know. Who's to say?
That's not your job.
Who's to say?
That's not for me to decide.
That's not your job. No. But scaling is going to be a really important thing in order to achieve interoperability. That's what I'm hearing.
Plus, ZK can put ZK on any chain, and it's mostly off-chain. And let's say you do an execution or an action on one chain, the proof can live on a completely other chain. So like you can do anything anywhere, and it can live in any other place. The proof of that happened and existed. So it removes those boundaries between chains as well. But the scaling is I think the most immediate need and resource.
Yeah. It's again, interop and ZK. Oh, I was doing a handshake, but yeah, heart, best friends. Again, so we have this theme for this mini series, which is essentially interop is solved. What's next? Because again, It sounds like ZK and the people that are building within the ZK space are very much aligned with this future of giving developers these superpowers, regardless of where they're building, what language they're building in, what types of applications. Like, it is fairly agnostic across the board. But if you think about interop as a solved problem, like, what is next for ZK? Like, where is there still room for either growth, like whether that is bringing costs down further, whether that is like more adoption, like what's next?
I think the performance and the latency things are always top of mind to make it even faster, even cheaper. It's already cheaper and faster than on-chain in most cases. Depends on what the thing is that you're doing. I think what's next is ZK technology as it is. It also, as you mentioned, it does give us a little bit of privacy options as well. And I think
We like privacy.
we do like privacy. And I think where the world is going and how we're working with crypto and the utopia that we painted a little bit of a picture of, we'll need more and more of that. And there will be a resurgence, I think, of all these projects that are implementing ZK, that they also are implementing more privacy-focused versions of ZK. So I think that's going to be huge and forever making it fast and cheap to unlock things. I think we're at the stage where we're just going to unlock the types of on-chain actions and just generally computation, like mammoth-sized, to reference Celestia a little bit, mammoth-sized verifiable compute.
Wow, we're
combining
interoping memes.
Yeah. To like really, really big computations that we've never had the chance to do ever. So whenever we talk with our clients as well, they're always like, wow, we could never do that. And they always start thinking of what else can we do. So I think there is a huge unlock here that is really hard to talk about because like, we'll see what people do. But it's really, my team says this all the time and it's really funny to me, but people use all the computational space we give them. Like they figure it out and they fill out all the resources you give them. And so we're at the position where we don't know what people are going to do with the 1000x of computation that we'll have because of ZK. We'll see.
But you remove those like perceived barriers and then see barriers.
Yes,
That's
all I can hear
That's
now.
right. It's not that smooth up here. I love that.
I was going to add something real quick. In our last episode with Jill, we were talking about infra and how a lot of infra builders are like, we're infra, we're agnostic and unopinionated, and we don't want to tell
infra.
We don't want to tell people what to build on it. But I think we were saying it's actually really important for infra people to actually think about like, what is it that the end user wants? And so from a ZK perspective, what are some of what's like a dream app of yours that can be built once interoperability is solved with ZK?
I think instead of just one app, I'd really love like a wallet experience or a login experience that I don't need to do things like, why am I switching manually between chains, having to bridge gas money so I can make a transaction happen on this new chain that I'm using. I think no user should make those opinions or those decisions. And that's, not just on the wallet perspective, but like I think our applications and the things that we're developing should not be that opinionated on not putting that on the user.
That's also why sometimes the opinionated part comes in with like communications as opposed to the protocol needing to have all of these different constraints. It is instead, like you said, about maybe increasing the, like ability for an application to make use of more computation. Like once you raise that ceiling for them, then they fill that space. And being able to craft narratives and ideas for people to be able to step into and build is like an important part of marketing an opinionated infrastructure project. And you in particular, I feel like found your way to ZK by trying to build things yourself. Like you are famously a user of these products. You have built interfaces. So like, what were those sticking points for you that you either wished were solved or like felt like they could have been a lot easier when trying to design something that requires privacy, for example, in the past?
Well, with Guild XYZ, one of my most known projects that I've built, we like single sign-on or connecting users' accounts was a huge thing. We kind of needed it, but some people are super privacy aware, some people aren't. And just generally connecting that and making that a thing was a big headache, and how we want to partake in that as a company. Like, do we just have a centralized database that's, you know, very secure but centralized, or do we decentralize that completely? So that was one of the points where this was more meaningful, or would have been. And on other side, when I was building more on the infra side already and DeFi and Intense, then the cross-chain interactions and opportunities in DeFi and on-chain interactions, the possibilities that we talked about prior that ZK and scaling can unlock and Interop can unlock, those would have been so cool.
You've also like kind of built consumer applications as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Like even just for fun, I feel like getting in that mindset of what would I like to be able to do? Do the interfaces exist for that user interaction? And like that is it's a unique property in someone who works in infrastructure to be able to have that like firsthand experience. Yeah, where do you hope people take more learnings from just building for consumers, even if they work in infrastructure?
Like, use the things, dude.
Use the
The amount of people I meet that are building for app builders and never use apps and
Guys,
don't know
there's
what
350 chains. Like, what? Go use them.
exactly. Not just the chains,
Yeah.
but not just talk with the app builders, but use the apps.
Yeah.
And you'll immediately know what the issue is. Even if you're building for the app builder itself, like you're building for developers because you're building infrastructure, like you can help them point in the better direction.
Yeah.
You can provide them with better tooling to make the things disappear that are a pain to use. Also, one more thing, sometimes make people that aren't in crypto that you have in your life interact with them, like your favorite things, because it helps you pinpoint those issues way better. And I think that is what we collectively have to do, actually, whatever we're building in this industry, to find the holes and fix them faster.
How do you find new applications?
Mostly friends. I've done a lot of UX interviews on this, actually, of how people find
Weird.
apps. Weird. But I mostly through friends and recommendations. Also Twitter, newsletters sometimes. But mostly friends.
So the
someone's
idea
need-
that there are no apps in crypto is wrong.
Yeah. Terribly wrong.
You're like closing your eyes and trying to find the apps. Like,
Yes.
go use them.
Go use the app.
Yeah.
What if someone's new to the space and doesn't have friends and a good network on crypto Twitter? What's the best way for them to check out apps?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
She's like, that's not me.
I only know because I've been in it since 2016.
Yeah.
I literally, that's one of the things I wanted to build at one point. I just got too busy with other stuff. But we need a better discovery thing. Like, why
Yeah.
do I not? Even me getting into Solana was such a prolonged, procrastinated thing
Yeah.
because I didn't know how to even bridge my money on there. What prime exchange should I use that's a DEX and decentralized and I should trust? Or like, is there a centralized exchange that I should try? What wallets works best? I only knew Phantom, but maybe there's another one that's better. It was so hard. And so for someone who doesn't even grasp the concepts of like, you need a wallet, you need a seed phrase, you need to put money on there. Like, if there's so many barriers, so I literally don't know where they find apps. I think they just start Googling, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of what would happen if I Googled.
You can
Like,
try it.
It would
later.
be all scam links.
I know.
I
I
feel
Or
think
like
so.
promoted wallet. Like, I feel like still infrastructure projects would come up.
Actually, honestly, social media. And a lot of people, I think, are onboarded through like Revolut and
Oh, yeah.
Coinbase.
True.
Like, there's trad-y things.
But are those applications? Like, I feel like that's only onboarding people to buy coins.
Still.
True.
But they also like have little courses.
Yeah.
They give you some verbiage that you can then Google and start to onboard yourself with. Like, you hear the concept of a wallet, you hear the concept of like different chains and
Yeah.
exchanges, and you start to Google the tokens and coins you see on it, maybe. So I think that is probably a way. But I don't know 2025 what we have available. I literally don't know. But this is coming from a person in 2016. I wanted to call my bank in Hungary and ask them, where can I buy crypto? Because I heard about it and I want to get some. And they didn't tell me where to get it. And I thought it's illegal, so I didn't call them. So compared to there, we're further in because
Yeah.
I don't think any person has to have this thought process that I did.
Yeah.
But it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting because I think I come from much more of a consumer standpoint than infra, where you guys mostly live. And I do think that certain ecosystems, like the Farcaster ecosystem, is doing a better job of creating all of these apps that lure people in. I still do think that the onboarding, even through consumer apps, is super hard as well. I mean, obviously, if you're if like onboarding to a wallet is that difficult, then like that's part of the experience of onboarding to an app as well. But I do think there are a lot of apps out there, and they're trying to onboard the masses.
Oh, WorldCoin.
True.
World. I've officially had dinner with my first crypto acquaintance friend that got onboarded through WorldCoin
Wow.
in 2020. Like that was their first, because they offered him Bitcoin or something. Like no, I don't know.
I think
He
it
got
was
paid in
World
crypto.
Token,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But he
Yeah.
also like somehow got Bitcoin through that. I don't know. Like maybe he
Interesting.
traded it. I don't know. But that was his first actual interaction with crypto.
Yeah.
Those people are in malls and they do it. Since
That's
then,
true.
it's been 5 years.
They are on the ground. They are
so slow, but yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting watching too. The other day at the Xerion house, Emily hosted an onboarding session and like asked the room what applications they should have people who have never used crypto before use, and then watch them walk through that experience. And even just hearing what people in crypto would recommend as like their first on-chain experience, like Zora often comes up. Honestly, anything Pumped Up Fun was one of
I'm
the
sure.
first ones.
Yeah.
But we had a conversation earlier with Nitya and Aditi from Para, and they were talking about just that hurdle of needing to get money on chain. Like once you do that, it's a lot easier then to try out a bunch of different things. But like, yeah, someone had to send them money for gas, and
Right.
then you're switching chains, and it just becomes infinitely more complex, and you can watch the light die in people's eyes as they like lose the novelty of trying something
Totally.
new.
Yeah.
There's also this company, this project called Peanut, like the food.
Yeah.
And I think, well, there's multiple of these, but they let you send crypto and a link in a
Okay.
text message.
I like the burner wallets as well. Like the idea, I remember in 2021, one of the most interesting experiences for onboarding people was like giving them an NFT and then saying you wanted it back. So like letting them feel like ownership and then trying to take that away. And they're like, wait, hold on. No, like that's mine. You can't have it back. And it's like, oh, how interesting. I actually cannot take it back from you. But not that you're trying to sell it, but you feel that in a way that a file on your computer could never make you feel.
I've never had this experience, but
I
sounds
have.
good.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
I love it. I know you have to go soon. And
Yep.
so in the interest of time and bringing things back to just, again, state of the world in 2025, ZK is not only coming, but here. Like, what are you excited about?
Sleep.
Oh,
Sorry. About crypto.
oh, right.
Let me think for a second, actually. I want to say something really smart.
Love that. Take your time.
Well, I'm going to sound boring, but I'm mostly excited about ZK.
No, really?
No
way. Why?
It's just so much fun because it's like once you get through the barrier of this sounds hard, this sounds like what researcher PhD boys talk about. Once you get through that, it's so cool. It's actually so simple. Because I don't need to know about the cryptography that actually goes on.
No.
I never need to know about it. But I can work in ZK and not know about what the math is mathing about because there's more people to do that and they're way smarter than me on that. But once the general concept, I'm most excited about it. I'm also excited to try new apps soon. I feel like we are going to have a resurgence of new apps being built because of it's a pendulum of, we had so many apps in like 2021 too, NFTs and like all these marketplaces and platforms, and then making creator websites and music and like all these things, and then they disappeared. And oh no, we actually need more infra, and then now we have an insane amount of infra. So now we're gonna have new
So
generation of
it's
apps.
time
and better
for the apps again?
again. Yeah, and I'm
Wow.
really excited to see what we're gonna do. Hopefully, I get to have a side project or something and build a little thing. We'll see.
We'll be talking about that next time, I'm sure.
Next number.
I love it. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having
Reka,
me.
where can people find you on the internet?
Mostly Twitter, Reka_ETH.
She's the berry. The
I'm
big
the
berry.
big berry. Yeah, currently.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.